Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Daryl, I'm VA7DDU. Today we're diving into an exciting piece of gear, the VR-N76 from Vero, dual band mobile radio. Whether you're a seasoned ham radio operator or someone exploring new tech for communication, this radio has a lot to offer. By the end of this video, you'll know why the VR-N76 has gained so much attention in the recent months. I believe this radio just came out last year, and how it could enhance your radio setup. So grab a coffee and let's get started. All right, first things first, let's take a look at what comes in the box. So obviously I've taken the radio out of the box already. I've installed the supplied antenna. I was surprised at how short this guy was, but I mean, I guess that's the same size as, you know, a stubby Yaesu antenna that comes with the FT5, or maybe you know, some of the other radios, but a lot of the you know, the Chinese radios do come with those, you know, fake Nagoyas, which are, you know, substantially longer. But this radio itself does come with this antenna. It seems to work pretty good. Let's have a look at what else comes in the box from the factory. So we got the USB-C cable. As you may be aware, this particular device doesn't come with a charge cradle, a dock, or anything like that. It is simply USB-C directly into the battery. I did order a second battery, so I actually, what I do is I have one battery charging and then swap it out, you know, as needed. So it has the USB-C cable. Let's see here. We have a bag full of the little rubber bands that go on top of the antenna there. We also have the clip for putting on the back if you want to put a lanyard or something like that on it. I did have this guy installed, the belt clip. It is good. It is a little bit bulky though, so I have it off for the video just so that I can, you know, lay the radio flat and you're able to see it. And then, of course, we have the user manual. Now, it looks like there's a couple of manuals here. One is for the app. So this radio is very unique in the fact that you are not required, but it expands the abilities of the radio quite a bit if you use the accompanying app that is available for iOS or Android. So this is a bit about the app and how to use it. And we got the radio itself manual. So this is, you know, how to do things right on the manual. You can do APRS. You can do a lot of these functions directly from the radio once you get it set up in the app, of course. Yeah, this radio on its own is an amazing dual band radio. As you can see on the box, this is IP67 waterproof, and the build quality is fantastic. All the seams, you know, nice and tight. When you click the battery in, it's nice and tight. The chassis of it is actually, you know, quite robust. It doesn't feel like, you know, you're going to break it, anything like that. Let's grab another radio here so I can show you the size comparison. So here's an FT5 for comparison right beside it. You know, it is a little bit bigger than an FT5, sure, but it does do quite a bit more than the FT5 does. So I would say that that is a plus. It is, you know, weight-wise, you know, it is a little bit bulkier, but it does have a bigger battery. The battery on this is fantastic. Just you know, from my week of usage that I've had this radio, using it for approximately a week, you know, this battery, while beaconing all day, APRS and monitoring, you know, repeater or two, mild usage, and this battery lasts all day. I am, you know, very excited about this radio. It is just an absolutely fantastic piece of kit. Now let's break down the hardware of this thing a little bit more. The VR-N76 is a dual band, like I said, so that's VHF and UHF, your 144, 148 megahertz range to your 420, 450 megahertz range. So this device is capable of APRS both via the app, you know, using your Android device, and also as a TNC. So if you want to use APRS Droid, whether that's on a laptop. You can connect to this guy. I haven't done it through the laptop. I have used it through the APRS Droid app, and it has worked very well. And this radio is also capable through the app. You can do SSTV. You can also connect this via the TNC to do WinLink. There's all sorts of fantastic features. Now, it uses Bluetooth to connect to the app, so there is, that this device is not completely controlled by a smartphone, but it does unlock a lot of features that are available for this phone, like doing the SSTV. You send the image via your smartphone, you upload it, then you are able to just click send on there. You'll see the transmit and just see it go right away. And then receiving SSTV, same thing. You just set it to whatever channel the SSTV is coming through on, and the decode starts to happen right on the device as you're sitting in the messages window. Yeah, and the compact design of this radio, and it being similar size to a lot of handy talkies, allows you to use some of the mounts and stuff like that are more universal, cell phone mounts, that sort of thing that people are adapting to use with handhelds. All right, next up, we're going to have a look at some of the technical functions of this radio. We'll have a look at how it's paired to the smartphone, and using the app to kind of set some of the functions up, set some of the frequencies when you're trying to set up a repeater and that sort of thing. It's very easy to set up a repeater in that, but you do need to do it through the app. It doesn't look like it's available in Chirp or any of the programming software, so it's a little bit cumbersome in the fact that you can't really, transfer over your existing lists. But like I said, it is fairly straightforward to install, to set up some of your repeaters, to add those frequencies, the offsets, all that kind of stuff. Let's dive into that. What really sets this VR-N76 apart is the app-based control system. So I'm kind of giving away my location here, but that's all right. It's already available online anyway. You can connect your smartphone to the radio to access a lot of the features. Most of the features are available through the radio itself, through the regular menu as you would navigate any other menu. But it's really easy to change a lot of the features on the radio itself. So you can see we're disconnected at the moment. Connecting this guy is just regular connection to Bluetooth. I'm not going to go over that. If you need help connecting something to Bluetooth, this radio is a little bit complicated, and may be a little bit a bit of a steep learning curve if that's where you're at. But connecting it to Bluetooth, it's pretty straightforward. So once I turn on the radio, it should automatically connect to the device. So let's just wait for that. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe if once I turn the app on, if the radio is already on. But either way, you can just click to reconnect it. So then, yeah, it shows the frequency that I am currently listening to on the A band, and then the current frequency that I'm listening to on the B band. As you can see, that matches up here, and you can see that as it receives there, it shows you receiving here. One of the great features about using the app, if you want to, you can stash this under your dash, wherever it needs to be, and you can use this, you click this button here, and you're actually now going to hear the audio come, instead of coming through the radio, it will come through your smartphone, and then vice versa. You can also transmit by hitting the speaker microphone button here, and it will actually show you, transmitting through the radio, but from your smart device. As you can see, there is something coming in here. I am beaconing APRS in the background, so it is able to monitor two different frequencies, or a repeater, two different repeaters, whatever, and also swaps the first A channel over to beacon APRS and monitor APRS as well. So let's have a look at some of the features and how to change some of the settings here. So if we open up the hamburger menu, it shows we are on the A band right here. Let's get a little bit closer. All right, so as you can see, We are currently on the A band. I am on the VA7 ITS repeater, but as you are changing that, you can click on whatever it is and it will change on the radio as well. So as you can see, we'll change RPT or DJA, ITS. As you can see, it changes on the screen as soon as you hit it. Cool, right? All right, so now into some of the APRS stuff. Or actually, no, let's have a look here. So FM radio as well is just one click away. Just click that, and it still monitors one of your bands, but switches that over to the FM radio as well. Also, you can do single channel or dual channel, depending on what your operation is. And a scan, just simply one button away there. Click scan, and you have scanning all your preset channels. So I'm going to leave it on dual channel here. Now, this is disable that just because I don't want it to be too noisy. So this will show actually all the APRS signals that you have received. So I just turned my radio on and I'm inside, so I don't receive much. But when I was messing around yesterday, some of the radio or other stations that came in, and as you see on the map here, if you zoom out, it actually captures that data and shows no APRS beacons here. Oh, probably because there's no fresh ones, and I have the settings set up accordingly. I will go through in another video how to get all these different things set up, because it is quite technical, but for now we're just going to show kind of an overview of what this radio is capable of. Another thing too that I like to do, if you want to do a manual beacon, it took me a while to figure that one out, but you just go into the messages, and you can click on the little icon down here. It shows you where your location is, and as soon as you click send, you can see, oh, there we go. It sent off my location. You can see that down here. Another great feature that leads me into is actually the recording. So this automatically records everything that this radio receives, whether it be an APRS beacon or an actual voice from a repeater. It records everything. So you can just hit that. See, and actually you can hear the, I don't know why it doesn't sound like APRS. Maybe that wasn't APRS. So, yeah, as you can see, it doesn't sound great there, but normally it would show any sort of received transmission. You click on it and it would actually play the audio. Let's see. No, not that one either. Again, yes, I'm inside, so it doesn't work super well. But when you're outside or receiving an actual full-scale voice, it will absolutely receive all that data and display it in here. One of the other great features of this phone, so if you are, or this device, if you are with a group of people that have these radios, these are amazing radios if you have a bunch of people. So we actually, part of our amateur radio club, we ordered 12 of these radios. So we're still working through getting some of the guys set up on their radios and that sort of thing. But there is actually a network. So you can actually join, set up a network of your own, or you can actually set up a team. Let's see here. So we can create a team. You pick a frequency, and if everybody's operating on the same frequency, these radios, while you're transmitting voice, as soon as you let go, it'll send a beacon with your location, telemetry, that sort of thing. So if you're in a group of people and you're all out being, tactical in some variety, whether you're doing airsoft or whether you're out 4x4, this radio is able to kind of keep you in geographic connection as well as a voice connection, so you can kind of see where everybody's at. Or if you got you're on a camp trip and a bunch of people are camping in different areas and you're all nearby, you could work that with a simplex frequency, or you can use it over a repeater too. So I know a couple of guys, when they first turn these radios on, that function is enabled and you have to disable it. So as soon as you transmit, it does beacon that. So if you're beaconing, or if you're transmitting on a repeater, you're going to get that tone at the end that has the location and everything like that. So one of the guys, it came up in my app and showed me who it was. Even though he was using a repeater, it still transmitted all that data over the repeater, which, I mean, can be handy, but if you're not intending to, that's not obviously ideal. So we can go back here and let's go back to some of the settings. Let's have a look. So here's just a quick look. There is a couple of settings menus and they're kind of nested. So we can go to the APRS settings. You do have to use your APRS password. That's the one that would be issued to you probably the first time you signed into APRS.fi. Now this has the ability to iGate and it works fantastically. So if you are within cell phone reception or you have Wi-Fi on your Android phone or iOS phone, you can go and enable the iGate. And what it'll do is actually anything that the radio receives for APRS packets, it will then forward through the internet to the APRS network. Very handy if you're somewhere where you have a little bit of cell reception but there's no iGates. And this sharing location, so this a lot has to do with that, like I was saying, that group, the Vero kind of team network. I don't know what it's called. We'll maybe have a dive into looking at some of that stuff a little bit later. But now this isn't the only APRS menu. So one of the quirks of this device is that it's fairly new, and I think the software has a little bit of a ways to go. They are doing frequent updates, both the firmware and the software on the radio itself. But as we can see here, if I go into, I believe it is ID signaling. Yeah, so then we have another, see, APRS settings here. We click on that. Oh, that gets to the same menu. That's not the one I was looking for. Yeah, so it's like I said, it's a little bit, this is the same APRS settings menu as this. But if we go back, there is one more. So let's go back here. See, there's device settings and settings. That's the settings. Now let's go device settings and then watch here, signaling settings. So here it is, APRS. So this is where we set our path and our channel. Now this is an important one. So this is where your APRS is going to be saved on your device. If it's in, your fourth memory, you're going to want to change this because you're not going to want to beacon out on the first one if it's set up for APRS on your fourth one. So this locks it into the channel that you have set up for APRS. And if you are wanting to use the KISS TNC, you got to enable that. So if you're wanting to use APRS Droid, you have to enable this guy. Now, see this, go to software settings. This takes you back into the APRS menu again. So like I said, this software is a little bit tricky to go around. There's different settings kind of tucked in different places, but it is a fantastic device overall. Let me reiterate that again. One of the last things we're going to take a look at is this guy. This is the Bluetooth, I believe is the BHM79, BHM79 Bluetooth microphone. Now this microphone is fantastic. It actually works quite well as long as you are very close to the radio. The range for this Bluetooth mic is limited. They say, I think it says 6 feet, but if you are 3 feet away but through a wall, it will give you trouble. You can kind of hear as you're walking away the distortion in the received signals, but it is overall a very handy feature to have. If you're going to have this maybe in your backpack and then have this on your lapel or on your shirt, so you can quickly access the radio. It does come with a little clip. Where is it here? It does come with a little clip. This guy just simply clips onto the back. Just makes it a little bit bulkier. So I took it off for the video, but yeah, so you can clip this onto your shirt, clip it onto wherever, and it will transmit over top of using the Bluetooth through your radio. So just turning it on, simply hold the power button, it powers up, and then it's connected when you can see the little headset icon on top of the radio there, and it should work quite well. So let's do a little test here. I'm just going to switch over to the 2 meter call frequency, and then we'll give a little test. This is Victor Alpha 7 Delta Delta Uniform testing. So I don't know if there will be anybody coming back to me, but we'll see here. Turn the radio Turn that up so you can, I don't know if you can, well, you can't tell, I guess, but the audio is coming out of here, not here. So this is a speaker and Bluetooth mic, which is quite handy so that you can have this right, up by your ear. And, if you have, like me, and you actually use maybe another antenna, maybe, like a signal stick where it's something quite a bit longer, it actually helps quite a bit when you can have the Bluetooth mic right on your shoulder or on your shirt and be able to operate that way remotely. I guess it's a little bit remote without a cord, which is fantastic because everybody knows having a cord to run to a mic is kind of a little bit cumbersome, and in 2025 we need to have wireless technology in a few more places. Anyways, that's all I'm going to show you for the app control and the Bluetooth mic here. It's pretty straightforward, how to connect it and all that kind of stuff. All these different buttons control different things, flipping channels up and down. This guy as well, it's a toggle on top, being able to flip channel up and down. And then a nice, very secure USB-C for charging. A little O-ring on there. It looks like it is waterproof. It doesn't say that it's waterproof, but there is a couple of guys out there on YouTube that I've seen that have submerged these guys in water, and they seem to operate just fine still. Whether that's a fluke or not, who knows? I'm probably not going to do that to mine. But yeah, overall, this radio and the software that controls it is fantastic. I would absolutely suggest this to anybody that is, a little bit more technical and can easily navigate through, these types of device connections. All right, so we've had a kind of brief overview of this radio. Like I said, I've been using this radio for about a week now, and let's go over some of the pros and cons that I've kind of found with this radio. Now, the fact that it is an app-based radio, you do need to, control a lot of the functions with an app, a device, whether it's an iOS or an Android device, tablet, whatever. To me, that's kind of a pro because I like to use that to change some of the features and functions and, quickly on the fly. It's a lot easier to use a phone to do it rather than going through the menu, click, 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 change that function, click, 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 change that function. It's a lot more intuitive to go through the app. So it's while for a handheld, it's a pretty ordinary size. For being what it is, compact and lightweight, delivers a lot of function out of this little radio. Now you're getting I've heard up to 7 watts out of this thing. I think it's advertised as a 5 watt, but with that kind of output and the functions and capabilities of this radio, it is a compact and lightweight unit that would be good for any mobile user. So the audio quality and reliable connectivity of this thing. So as far as like connecting the device to your phone, it's a pretty easy connection every time. Maybe you have to click one button to connect it, depending on what device you turn on first. And then as well, the connectivity with repeaters and things like that. Like it's very reliable. It's the sensitivity of it is as I would expect from a radio of this price point. And that brings me to the last thing, the price of this radio. It is fantastically priced. So the only other radio on the market that I could think of that would offer this kind of functionality in a size or handheld at all would be a Kenwood. And those Kenwoods, as we know, big dollars. They are 3 times as expensive as this. This is less than $200 American. I think with the mic and an extra battery, I think for me, going through, we did buy as a group. Like I said, we bought 12 of these things through a group buy to save a couple more bucks. And I think it was about just over $300 landed with all the tax, Canadian that is, for this. But that's a drop in the bucket compared to an FT5. An FT5 does not have the TNC, doesn't have any Bluetooth capability to connect. I mean, it does have Bluetooth, but you can only really connect to the Yaesu Bluetooth devices. Some headsets and things like that work. This guy, apparently you can play music on this. connect it to your phone, maybe play music. I don't know. I haven't done any of that, but there's things in the menu that say something about like being able to change song and stuff with the buttons on this. I don't know. I haven't looked into that yet. If you have used that, leave a comment below. Tell me how that works. But like I said, comparing it to the FT5, the bang for your buck factor, this I would go with this radio hands down every single time. One of my biggest pet peeves with this radio is these clips. The obviously the all the FT series have this clip, and if you want to use a belt clip, obviously the one that clamps onto the whole device here is is the safest bet. But there is the other belt clip that connects onto the back. I just don't like putting pressure on these little tiny plastic clips. This guy, the battery, it is robust. You have to really crank on the switch to get that and release the battery. It is firmly on there. It is not going anywhere. And the belt clip itself screws into the metal frame. You can see the part of the metal chassis coming out here, and it actually is metal to metal contact. So you know that belt clip is not going anywhere. And if it does, then something bad has probably happened, and there's probably a lot more to worry about than the belt clip. But that brings me on to the cons. So like I said, having that app control is a con as well. The lack of accessibility through the device to get to some of the settings is a con. And that type of environment, I think, is maybe a limitation for some people because it is complex, right? Trying to get the settings, to and from the device. And one of the other like I said, the learning curve, I would consider that a bit of a drawback as well. Even me, I'm fairly technically savvy, but still, there is a learning curve to get through, the menu and how it affects the radio and back and forth. Another con I would say is the Bluetooth range. So I don't think that it's the Bluetooth range of this of the phone, of the device itself, because when I'm using my phone, the range seems adequate for Bluetooth. But when I'm connected to the hand mic, the Bluetooth seems very, very limited. So I'm not sure that it's the device itself, more this device here. But the limited, I would chalk that up to being another con. And there is issues. So like I said, this radio is fairly new. They came out with this radio, and the firmware updates you can do from the phone itself. It just simply click firmware update, and it sends it directly to the device. You click go, and it goes. It's pretty simple. There are frequent firmware updates. There are beta firmware updates. So if you want to be on the cutting edge, you can definitely upload the beta firmware. But there has been some reported bugs with the device as far as some APRS leaking onto different channels where it's not supposed to. There's been some other bugs with some of the data, the KISS TNC, that sort of thing. Those seem to be getting worked out very quickly. From Vero, like I said, they do release updates on occasion. But like I said, it is a brand new device, so I'm going to put up a con that it is, there is some bugs with the device. But like I said, brand new device, so many features packed into a tiny little capsule. And for the price point, I would say that this is still a fantastic radio to add to anyone's kit. All right, so just to touch on it one more time, who do I think that this radio is best suited for? I'd say it's perfect for any tech-savvy mobile ham operators. So people that are out in the field, people that are doing POTA, folks that are into satellites, that sort of thing. This is a fantastic radio that would be, fantastic radio to add to your kit. That'll be it for today's dive into the Vero VR-N76. If you found this video helpful at all, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for more ham radio content. I'm trying to produce as many videos as I can. If you've got any questions or experiences with this radio, drop them in the comments below. There is the B-Tech version and the Radioddity version of this radio that have the very similar software, all that stuff. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next radio. I'll catch you in the next video, and we're going to go over some more functions of this guy, maybe actually dive into programming it and getting into a deeper dive into some of those APRS features, why we bought this radio in the first place, I guess.